Hello, loves. Hello, my loves. If you guys can start double tapping that screen and letting me know where you're watching from, that will help get this pushed out to the FYP. And when we hit about 10 people live, I can start readings. Thank you for liking the live. How's everybody feeling now that we are slowly coming out of the eclipse energy? I mean, we're in between eclipses, so the next couple of weeks are going to be, this next week is going to be probably the most, actually the next 2 weeks is probably going to be the most intense energy we've experienced thus far. It is going to be pretty brutal. Intense, impactful, whatever word you want to use. So checking in with you guys to see how you're feeling now. No, ma'am. No. I'm not going to, I don't have to pet you constantly. I know. Come on. You want to say hi to everybody? Say hi, Sadie. Yes. Yes, I know. You just want to be held all the time like you're a little baby. Yeah, like your lap dog. She thinks she's so tiny. Yes, she can't stand it when I take away her attention for anybody else. I know, huh? Yeah. All she wants to do is sit in my lap, literally. Or on my, pretty much on my face. I know, sweet baby. I know. Okay. All right. I know, I love you, but I'm trying to help people. No, you're gonna knock over my tripod. You're just gonna knock over the tripod. Go lay down. Or go look out the window. Go bark at people. Go do something. No, that's not me. If you guys can tap the screen, let me know where you're watching from, how you're feeling in all this intense energy. We also have a severe geomagnetic storm warning from solar flares. So this weekend, you could have headaches, body pains, you could have sleep disturbances, all of those things. North Carolina. I will start doing readings once I hit about 10 people live. So if you can hold off on asking your questions until then, that would be great. We gotta get this pushed out to the FYP. Oh, no need to be sorry. I just have to keep repeating it because, you know, not everybody's here when I say it originally. So don't worry about it. But your comments help. It helps get it work. The more people interact with the live, the faster it gets pushed out. And then the faster we can help people. I plan to be on my paddleboard today on the lake, but it's a little windy. And the air quality is not great from all the dust in Texas right now from the severe winds and dryness. And I'm allergic to dust mites, and my allergies go crazy when it's too dusty outside. So I figured we'll go live and we'll see who's on and see if we can help some people. And if we don't get a bunch of people on, then we will go do something else. Yeah, see, red flag warning. We're under a red flag warning. Hello. Thanks for stopping in. Thanks for commenting. Usually takes a few minutes. I've noticed about 5 to 10 minutes before it really gets pushed out. I'm actually really good. I only had a couple of days this week where my body was hurting from all the energy, but I'm good. I feel energized. I have good mental space. So I am faring well right now. How are you guys doing? Thank you for asking, by the way. We're getting closer. Yes, it's so important to listen to the body. So important. Hello, Deanna. Okay, we've hit our mark. So for those of you who are new to me, I'm Johanna Burkhardt. I am a multidimensional channel teacher, healer, author, and my mission is to help you be the change that you want to see so that you can create the reality that you are desiring. And I do that through helping you learn how to shift your frequency, helping you to trust your intuition, to make peace with uncertainty, to really be able to tap in and tune into your intuitive gifts and be able to discern things. So I do a combination of those through courses and sessions and private mentorship. When I come on live here, I do a little bit more of traditional readings, which I generally don't necessarily do in session. And this just gives you an opportunity to see how I read, to get to know me, and it gives me an opportunity to be of service and to offer my services at a price that I normally wouldn't. And so that's what I'm here to do today. Thank you. Oh, I learned through trial and error how to do my makeup. A lot of practice. I look back at some of my older videos and I was like, ugh. So today we're doing one free yes or no per person. If I do not get a clear yes or no for you, I'm not going to make up an answer. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to let you know that I don't have a clear yes or no. That means there are things within you or within the other person that aren't solidified or decided, and that's part of your free will. And so I will let you know if I don't get a clear answer or I just won't answer you. So please don't ask the same question 10 times because then I'll have to mute you. If you would like a reading from your guides, this is a mini read. You can ask a specific question or you can ask for a general. There is no medical, legal, or mediumship today. Now, with that said, if I do a mini read for you, which are by donation, by the way, there's a minimum $15 donation for a mini read, and a loved one shows up and they're easily brought through, then I will bring them through. So, but please do not donate on the caveat that I'm gonna connect to a loved one. I don't like doing mediumship on here. These connections on lives with this many people, they're quick connects, and it's a mixture of energies. So I try to be in as much integrity as I can be, and that's just how I work, okay? If you do donate for a mini read, please let me know that you donated and where you donated. Make sure your Cash App or Venmo has your first and last name. Stella, there's not a clear yes or no for that, so that means that there's things that are undecided yet. Deanna, yes. Will Eric reach out to me by next weekend? I don't know by next weekend, but you will hear from Eric again. Tara, no. Jessica, yes, there's a part of him that wants to fix it, but I'm not sure he's capable of being able to act out on it. And for all of you guys that are asking about relationships, and this is not to be mean or anything like that, it comes from a place of love. Go listen to my last podcast of Cosmic Blonde. Just go listen to it. Because if you're waiting for someone, oh, will they text me? Oh, do they love me? Oh, do they want me back? Are we going to get back together? That is already telling you that that is not an aligned relationship for you. Because if things were in alignment, meaning both of you were in the same space at the same time, able to receive each other, you wouldn't be asking these questions. So if you're asking these questions, this person is not for you in this moment. Let them go. Find your power. Find your worth. Don't give it away. Don't do that. And you're going to hear me say this multiple times because I get a million relationship questions when I do freeze. And the clearer you can be with your yes or no, the better it's going to be for you. So don't give me some half-colluded, vague question, because that's not going to help you. Will I find love in Arizona? Not the love that you're looking for. Not your soulmate isn't in Arizona. Madison, you're fine. It's just some people will literally comment the same question 15 times, and that's when it gets difficult. Sometimes you need to post it twice because I don't see it. So, Madison, when I look at your question, the only thing I hear is eventually. So I feel like there's things that have to be worked out before you guys come back into alignment. Cindy, I think you're going to get a different job. That job, whatever job that you're speaking of, you're going to get a job. I don't know if it's the job you want, is what I'm going to say. Because your question is pretty vague. To pay for a mini read, just double click on my photo. It'll take you to my profile. There'll be a link. Click on that link and hit the tip jar. I prefer Cash App or Venmo, but there is PayPal as well. Yvette, yes. Oh, cool. Congratulations, Candy. I've always been someone that has always known when people were pregnant before they were and what they were having. Before they even knew, before they even told anybody, I would call them and be like, are you pregnant? They'd be like, how did you know that? I used to always, was a thing well before I knew I was this intuitive or knew that I could communicate with spirit. It used to happen all the time. My wife broke my trust. Should I move on? That's a complicated question that isn't a yes or a no. That's up to you. Trust is really difficult to regain once it's been broken. Is it possible? Absolutely. So it's going to come down to both of you having the ability to communicate honestly from your heart with transparency and be able to receive each other and not be in defense of that. So, and your ability to forgive, and to know that people are human and make mistakes, and allowing her actions to rebuild that trust. So that's not a yes or no question. You have to do what's right for you and what's in your capacity. You're never taking a chance on fate. You're never taking a chance on fate. If it's fated, things are going to line up and the path will appear. It will be created. So you need to look at the synchronicities of your life and see if you are being guided in that way. Oh, thanks, Madison. Patty, no. So remember, guys, if you're asking relationship questions, is this person going to love me? Are we going to reconnect? Are they going to call me? Are they going to reach out? Anytime you're asking any of those questions, you're already telling me that you are in a relationship that is not in alignment for either one of you. If it were, things would be fluid. You would be communicating, you would be together, you would be talking, you would be seeing each other. It's not often do they want to or not, right? If they wanted to, they would. That's real, but it's also not, because there's lots of things that I want to do, but I know it's either not good for me, or I don't have the capacity, or it scares me. So if they wanted to, they would isn't always the right approach to it. But if you're sitting there pining, waiting, oh my God, are they going to text me? Are they going to call me? Do they love me? Are we going to get back together? You're already giving your power away to something outside of you. You're trying to get your worth validated on someone being there with you. So go listen to my last podcast and trust that if you were meant to be together, you would be. And it doesn't mean you can't get back together. It just means things have to align. And that means that both of you have to do work. Hi, Jen. Bonnie, yes, I feel like there might be another round of countering, but yes. Is there great success for me as a tarot content creator? If you believe, that's the only thing that's going to stop your success is your belief. And I feel like you will move on beyond tarot. You'll let go of the need to have an item to read. Chrissy, you got to shift your belief systems. That's what's hindering your finances. Let me tell you something. Abundance is your birthright. Abundance is something that is you're always in abundance. There's never a time you are not abundant, even if it means there's an abundance of lack. Hear me when I say that. So even if you have an abundance of lack right now, you're still in abundance. You still have abundance. So you have to shift your belief systems. That was for Chrissy. I get a lot of comments and I'm doing my best. So if you guys can be patient and kind, that would be appreciated. Tinsley, I don't see that for you now. Please do your best to only ask the question one time. Again, if I don't answer you, it's not because I haven't seen your question. It's either I haven't gotten to it yet or there is not a clear yes or no. And we have to be careful when we're asking about other people because I don't have permission to read them. Are Evan and I meant to be together? I think you guys met for a reason, but not for a lifetime. If you're asking me how another person feels, I am not going to answer that because I don't have permission to tap into them. Sandra, will my relationship get stable? That is not a clear yes or no. I feel like when the two of you can find your stability and come together, then yes, maybe. But it feels like you guys are in the middle of some chaos right now, and you need to learn to communicate better. I'm not answering medical questions, and that includes, will I get pregnant? If you're asking me about somebody else, I will not answer. I'm not like other readers who are going to tap into other people's energy that have not given me permission to. Okay, I have a Venmo that came in, so let me stop and prioritize their read. I don't see it. Did you possibly send it to the wrong account? Did you send it to my professional account? Let me look. If you guys can try to just send it to the account that's labeled and not the other one. But maybe it just hasn't come through yet. So we'll give it just a few minutes, okay? Kathy, you have the capacity to make it a great week, not just a good week. There we go. I just saw it come through. It just took a minute. Okay. What is it doing? Is it Yanni? Yanni? Yanni. Do you have a specific question, or do you want a general? Good afternoon, Lisa. General, okay. Okay, for all of you who are posting yes or no questions, if you can just pause on that and allow me to read. I always prioritize the donation reads, okay? This is for Yanni. So Yanni, there's a couple of things showing up physically that I want to start with. One is there's a lot of big shifts and changes happening within your throat and within your ears. Like your throat is going through major upgrades, and that's a common theme this month anyway, the throat chakra, but your ears as well. So that tells me that you are not only going through a frequency increase, but that you have clairaudient ability. And so I don't know if you already know that or aware of that, but those gifts are opening up and or clarifying and expanding. And so if you're feeling any type of pain, discomfort, illness, issues with your throat and or ears, know that that is a purification that's happening to really open you up to speak more from your heart, to speak your truth, but also to speak what's coming through. Like your clairaudient ability, like it's like almost feel like they're tunneling and really just opening up that pathway for you to be able to hear and communicate with spirit. They're telling me this is a time for peace for you. I don't know if that's something you've been wanting or waiting for, but they're telling me that you're coming into a space of peace and integration. So you might even be feeling cold. When you get bone cold, or when you're cold, you're like, why am I cold? Cold is when we're having an integration. It's like it's integrating into the bones. That's the wisdom is what's integrating, or crystallizing is a better way to say it, crystallizing, and the story, the density is being transmuted and falling away. So this is a time for peace for you, integration, grounding, presence. And so it might seem boring soon if it's not already, or something like that, but it's not boredom, it's peace. So enjoy it, enjoy the slowdown. It's a time for you to slow down. Interestingly enough, the slower you go, the more present you are, the faster things feel, right? Time becomes almost elusive. And so this is going to be a turning point for you and what's coming for you. And there are big things coming for you. You're actually being guided to start to step into your mission here. I feel like there's been a calling placed upon you, and maybe you are already diving a little bit into it, or you're just not quite sure how. And just allow for the breadcrumb trail, as I like to call it, or the synchronicities to appear. And when things start to show up synchronistically, meaning like you had a thought and then someone said it, or you had a thought and then you see it and then it happens again, you're like, okay, that's synchronistic. It's not coincidental. I'm going to follow that. And once you do, it opens the next door and opens the next door. That's why I call it a breadcrumb trail. So that has already been happening. You notice it often, but then there are times when you miss it completely or doubt it. So just slow down, allow yourself to be present and to follow those synchronistic events, because that's the flow. That's you being guided. It's like you're being sharpened. And what I mean by that is you're in a space right now where you're about to go into clarity. You're about to have some clarity, and clarity is elusive. They're saying it's not something that's a constant. We're never meant to be in constant clarity, because we're always evolving, changing, and moving fluidly. The water's always moving, right? You're always moving, but we will have these pit stops, or these moments of extreme clarity, and that clarity is just the confirmation. Yes, okay, perfect. This is in alignment. Now I can start moving again. And when things start moving again, they get a little foggy, right? Or when the water's moving, it's not as clear. So when you're moving and when you don't have clarity, know that it's because you're in the moving process. But when you stop and you still and you slow down, then you have those moments of clarity, and then you can begin again. So I don't know if clarity is something you've struggled with, but this was coming for you very clearly. And I'm hearing there's a partnership coming for you. They're not clarifying if it's romantic or business, but there is a partnership coming for you over the next 3 to 6 months-ish. So this partnership could be, again, it could be you collaborating for business or a side hustle or a new opportunity, or it could be a romantic partnership. When I ask for more, they don't give it. So there's a reason why they're not giving it. I don't know if you're somebody who, once you get information, you go out and try to make that happen or seek it. But oftentimes when they withhold information, it's for a reason. Well, that's funny. See, of course not. I've been asking and they don't give it to me either. That's because you would probably sabotage it. I hate to say that, but that's why they do it. Sometimes if you know too much information, when we know too much information, we ruin it for ourselves. So befriend uncertainty. See it as an adventure, and don't wait on anything. you can't seek and receive at the same time. So whatever it is that you feel is coming for you, because I know you can feel it coming for you. When you feel something coming for you, know that it's already done. Know that it's already on its way. You may not know what it's going to look like or all the details or when it's going to arrive, but you know it's on its way, right? So make the space for it. So if you're waiting on a romantic partnership, for example, how would you be in partnership? How would you wake up every day? How would your beliefs be? How would your thought process be? How would you operate on a daily? You need to start to do that already, right? That's we call acting as if. That's living from the assumption that it's done and taken care of. And so if you can do that, it will arrive faster because you've let go of the outcome or the need or the details or all those things. I just did a reel on that and a podcast on it, but I haven't put it up yet. But the need or the controlling of the outcome is energy. So whatever it is you're waiting for, if you're waiting, that manifestation, that person, place, or thing is waiting just outside of your being. It's waiting for you to make the space so it can come into you. But if you have a need, I need to have this right now, or I need to have this or else, that need is energy and it fills the space that is meant to be open for you to receive. So the more you can operate from the space of act as if, the more you can operate from the space of I'm okay if it happens or it doesn't, the faster everything that you're waiting for will come in. And I have a whole program based upon this called the Recalibration Experience, and that's under my courses. If that's something that anyone is interested in, it's there for you. But that is most likely why they're not being clear for you, because they're not here to give you everything. They're not here to give us the map. They're here to give us clues to help us on our journey. Does that make sense? You're an overanalyzer? Of course you are. That's okay. We overanalyze because we're trying to figure it out. We're needing to control. When you surrender, you have the ultimate control. You control your state of being. And you're like, whatever happens, I'm going to be okay, so I'm going to make the best of my reality currently. That is the ultimate control. So shift your mindset about that. Do you have any questions about anything that we've said so far? Because that's what they have for you. Yeah, you have a big shift coming for you. I don't necessarily think that you're going to move like out of state or something, but there is a big shift coming for you. Your movement, okay, they're saying your movement is in a shift in timeline and dimension. It's a shift in frequency. Who you're going to be when you anchor in that frequency completely is going to be different than who you know yourself to be right now. That's what you are feeling. Does that make sense? Okay, good. Awesome. Well, this live will be up in the next 24 hours or so on my YouTube under TikTok live playlists. I highly suggest you go back and listen to your reading, because the information that they provided for you is really important for you to hear in anger. Because if you can start to apply that, it will be very beneficial to you. Also, the podcast that comes out this coming Wednesday on my Cosmic Blonde would be also great for you to listen to. Nicole, yes, you're actually going to get a new vehicle. I don't know if it's right away. Your issue will get fixed, but you're going to end up with a new vehicle. If anybody's asking about what someone else thinks or feels, I'm not going to answer that because I don't have permission to tap into their energy. Rhonda, yes. And remember, anyone who's asking about, is this person going to love me? Are they going to reconcile with me? Are we going to get back together? Do they think about me? You're giving your power away. Go listen to my last podcast on Cosmic Blonde. If they're not speaking to you, if they're not trying to reconcile with you, if they're not making efforts, it means they're not in alignment for you and you're not in alignment for them. And the more you try to make something happen, that's coming out of a place of fear. Fear of who you'll be if they don't love you or they don't choose you. And that comes from emotional memory stored in your nervous system from childhood. So remember this and take back your power, heal whatever pattern is showing up. I know it's not easy, but don't give your power away to somebody outside of you like that. Sandra, you are going to have a work from home job. I don't know if it's the one that you're speaking of, but I do see you working from home. Lisa, yes, you are going to meet somebody this year. It feels like end of summer. You're welcome. Brittany, I don't get a yes or a no when I read your questions. I literally get nothing. So for whatever reason, I'm not getting an answer for you. Sometimes it's because it's better for us not to know, and sometimes it's because there's things that are still undecided from other people. Remember, everybody has free will, and everybody has to come into, if it's with multiple people, it's not just about you. Josh, will Christina and me reconcile? It's possible. I don't feel like it would be in alignment though. Again, you guys, if you're asking about relationships, about whether someone wants you or is going to choose you or going to get back together with you or thinking about you, you're giving your power away. If it's not working in this moment, it's not in alignment in this moment. Let it go. Let it go. If you're sitting here waiting, wishing, going to psychics and wanting them to tell you, are they going to come back to me? How do I get them back? That is a disempowered state. Love yourself more. Choose yourself more. do the work to heal. Please do the work to heal. It doesn't mean that people can't come back to you, but they've got to do the work on their own. And I know a lot of you that come on here and ask those questions, that's not the answer that you want, but that's the kind of reader that I am. I'm going to tell you, because it's about putting you in a place of power and feeling empowered instead of giving your power away. I'm not going to answer questions asking about someone else who is not on here giving me permission to read them. There is a lot of shady readers on this app and on all the platforms, honestly. If somebody is answering questions about somebody else, they don't have permission to read their energy. Hi, Kim. I'm good. How are you, hon? I feel like a broken record today. Debbie. Yes, but probably not in the way you want him to. I still think about all of my ex-husbands and all of my ex-boyfriends from time to time. It doesn't mean I want to be with them. Lazy Saturday. Those are good days. It's good. We're windy here. I wanted to be out on my paddleboard, but when it gets super windy, it makes it difficult and not as fun to be out there paddling. I just had an interview and curious if I will move on to the next round of interviews. Yes, you will. I'm in Texas. I'm a little northwest of Houston. Currently on Lake Livingston, if you know where that is. Oh my gosh, it's so hot. Indiana. It's not just hot. Like, I don't care about the heat. It's the humidity. This was the one place, the area I kind of avoided. I've been all over Texas because I lived in the humidity when I lived on the Outer Banks. I can't stand high humidity, but here I am. I don't know how that happened. I mean, I know how it happened, but the humidity is what makes it like suffocating, you know? Pennsylvania. But yeah, it gets hot in the summer. QHHT Tina. Where did you go? I have been looking for QHHT practitioners to follow because I'm looking to interview one on my podcast. I don't know if she's still here, but we'll see. If she does, I'll follow her to watch her. She must not have stayed. Ooh. Kim, yes. There's some belief systems you guys need to work on that will help you. So look at where you feel you're limited. Well, me and Rajaj, maybe, I don't know if I said that wrong, meet up this weekend. Yes. Thank you for the gifts, you guys. Appreciate it. Eyes to see me and ears to hear. Well, one, I like your username. Will I make 6 figures at the end of this crypto run? It's not a for sure yes or no, but they said, and what I heard was enjoy the ride. Don't get greedy with it. Just enjoy the ride, make good decisions. Are my mother and brother together as spirits? Yes. And around you? Yes, always. Whenever you think of them, whenever you come across a memory of them, whenever you hear a song or see an animal that reminds you of them, they are with you in that exact moment. They see everything, they hear you, you can talk to them, they talk back, you just don't recognize that the thoughts that you are having are them speaking to you. But yes, they are always around you. You are never, ever alone. They didn't die. They just lost their physical vessel. That's it. We don't die. We just shed the body. We shed the suit. Will I get the transfer I want for my job soon? Yes, it's coming down. There's a timing thing with that though. And it's gonna lead to more than what you have any idea what's in store for you. So just be present, let it all unfold, let it be an adventure. I will not answer questions about what someone else sees, thinks, or feels, because I don't have permission to read them. I can only see it from integrity, from your soul's perspective. Will I get a summer job in what I want? Yes. Will I have a serious future with Mike? That is not a yes or no question. There is a future for you guys, but I don't see it as I don't see you guys as your forever people, no. Hi there, welcome in. Heather, will Donald and I have our happy marriage back? There is a potential for that, yes. There's also many potentials that it won't be. So it comes down to communication, transparency, honesty, and the effort that you're both willing to put in. That takes 2 people, so just remember that. It's not a yes or no. You think it's a yes or no, but to spirit, it's not. Nothing is ever black and white, you guys. Nothing is ever that simple, especially when there's 2 people involved. Each person has their own soul's path, their own soul's contracts. Everybody has their own limits and beliefs and their ability to navigate that, which is what we call free will. So what most people think is a simple yes or no is not. It just isn't. So if I get a clear yes or no, then I will tell you. But if not, I'm going to tell you what I get or what I know. And I'm not meant to align with everybody or make everybody happy. I'm here to be of service. So I hope you can understand that. Omar, no. But see, this is a good example of why relationship questions like this are not great for you guys to know the answers. Relationships and in connections in general, whether they're romantic or friendships, connections are meant for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And if you squash that connection or relationship because someone like me says that's not your forever person, you miss the reason that they came into your life in the first place. So if you have someone come into your life and then they're left, that happened for a reason too. That the reason they were there was for a reason. Learn from it. If they're there for a short time and you're attached to them being your forever person, you need to work through that attachment issue. Be present. Be willing to have the experience where you are without needing to know the outcome with certainty. But sometimes when we know these things, and why a lot of times Spirit won't answer you or me, is because then you're going to miss the whole purpose of why that connection needed to exist in the first place. Susan, you will get a job. I'm not sure it's going to be by April. Time is very elusive right now. Well, it's always elusive, but I think there's some shifts and changes that are going to take place before now and through the midway through April for you. I also think you're not looking in the right place. I feel like what you're looking for is based on an old version of you. That was for Susan. Okay, so those of you who are brand new, who are just jumping in, I'm doing one yes or no per person to those who I feel called to. And if you would like a mini read, meaning I read from for you from your guides, or you can also ask a question. Those are by donation. Those are $15 minimum donation through Cash App, Venmo, linked in my bio. If you've never had a session with me and you'd like 60 minutes with me, and you've never had one before, there is a special first-time client rate available under my Quantum Soul sessions, linked in my bio as well. Daniela, why would you want the person to unblock you? If they blocked you, you're not in alignment. You're not in alignment. Let it go. If it's meant to be, they will take the action. They will reach out. It will align. If they're not doing it, you either need to shift yourself and your belief systems and open the space for them to be received, or you need to let it go and let it be. Kelly, well, Josh and I reconcile. There's a potential for that, but I feel like it might be too far gone at this point. Again, honest communication, transparency, and the willingness to do those things. I just don't feel like neither one of you are in the space, or both of you, I should say, at the same time are in the space to do that. When you guys are not together, it's for a reason. When they're not reaching out, it's for a reason. Stop giving your power away. Choose you. Focus on you. When you focus on you, the focus becomes on you. You don't need someone to love you. You don't need someone to choose you. Jackie, yes. Olivia, what will it do for you to know the answer to that? Because that's a fear. You need to work on the fear and be okay being in the moment and letting go of it going one way or another. Just be present. To not be hurt by him again. Well, that comes back to you. That, again, this is why I say things happen for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. That reason might just be for you to learn to trust and discern you, what's right for you, what you're already perceiving. Because I can tell, and I already know, you know the answer to that question. You're here because you want validation on that answer. So the reason why things like that happen is so that you learn to trust yourself. If you don't feel good, if you have doubt, that's telling you something. That's the reason for you to strengthen within yourself. It's not to fear him hurting again. It's to trust yourself enough to know that if he does, you'll be okay, because you're going to catch it and you're going to stop it and you're going to say no and walk away. Do you understand what we're saying? I mean, honestly, this is probably why I generally don't do free yes or no's, just because they tend to be these types of questions, which I feel like are not helpful for you guys. I don't have permission to read that person to see if they have regret. Jen, I think you and Kevin, I don't see it being anything long-term. So there's a possibility, yes, that you might entertain each other, but I don't see it being, I don't see him long-term with you. Oh, thank you, Vic. My guides are really very, we're not here just to appease people or give them what they want, or, like I said, yes and no's, they really don't help people. So our job is to guide you back to yourself. And I'm not going to deviate from that just to make people happy, you know? So I stick by what we're here to do. And if people want to receive it, great. If they don't, some people get mad and leave and never come back, and that's okay too. I will not answer questions about if someone's been on your mind, if they're thinking about you, if they're missing you. I don't have permission to read their energy, and I'm not going to do that. Some readers will. That's not an integrity. I'm not going to do that. If I see it through your perspective, through your soul contract, and it comes through clearly it's going to be through your lens, right? So if I read somebody anyway, it would be there. Anytime a reader is reading someone without their permission, they're reading it through your lens of perspective, which taints it anyway. So be careful when you go to readers asking about other people. How do you know within you if you're going to end up with someone? You never do. You can know that that person, when you meet somebody, you usually know if you want to be with them, right? You feel it. And that's either going to be a karmic, meaning you called them in for a reason. There's a lesson for both of you to learn. There's wisdom for both of you to learn from each other. And if it's your soulmate, how you will know is because you will feel at peace. I used to say at home, but if your home was toxic, then home is not the right feeling. You will feel at peace. You won't need to fight to have the relationship. You won't need to worry if they're going to call you. You won't wonder if they're on your mind. It will be a little bit easy and effortless. You guys will challenge each other to be your best selves. You will find peace just existing. You won't need to do anything. They won't need to show up a certain way. They will accept you completely. It will feel like homeostasis. You will feel like two puzzle pieces that fit together perfectly. Two whole pieces that fit together perfectly. So if you want to know what your soulmate will feel like, that's what it is. So if you're on here asking, do they think about me? Do they want me? Will they call me? Will they do this? They're already not your person. They're there to teach you something. They're there to direct you back to yourself. Melanie, yes. But Melanie, I'm going to give you a little more. I feel like there's another opportunity that's going to be showing up for you. I feel like you don't need to work 2 jobs, but you have some stuff to work on inside of yourself that will help you expand your capacity and your belief in yourself, that will open you up to bigger and better opportunities so that you're not exhausting yourself. You're welcome, hon. Thank you for the roses. Once again, I will not read for other people. So if you're asking about another person and how they feel or what they want, I'm not going to read them because I don't have permission to. And please, only one yes or no per person. Nicholas, let her go. Charity, maybe. It's something that the other person, it's a potential, but it's not a big potential, so it's not a clear yes or no yet. Gabby, yes. I keep hearing Spain, so I don't know if you plan to go to Spain, but if not, maybe that's something you put on your list. I will not answer questions if somebody's cheating. Should I give Edwin a second chance? If you want to. There's no right or wrong on that one. If you feel you need to go back, there's probably more lessons for you to learn. Will I find love soon? I'm hearing next year. Hamdi, yes. Coco, is Jeremy the one for me? He is a season for you. Another reason why. See, answering these kinds of questions don't help you, because now it's going to taint the way that you move forward. So this is why I don't answer a lot of those types of questions, is because people come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And if you isn't the answer you want, you're gonna miss the whole point of why that person came into your life in the first place. Henry, that's a legal question, so I'm not going to answer. Leah, is my career going to be okay this year? Yes, there's some big shifts going on with you internally. So I feel like your career is going to shift dramatically because of that. So just allow yourself to follow the flow and to trust where you go, and it will be fine. Please honor my one per person. Sometimes I recognize your usernames and sometimes I don't. So it's not really fair for me to be answering the same person multiple times. So if you've already asked and I've answered, please respect that. Lee, is Josh genuine? Can I trust him? That is the whole reason. This is a great example. It's not about trusting him. It's about trusting yourself. It's about trusting yourself, hun. So you have to trust your intuition about him or about the situation. It isn't about him at all. You're never trusting someone else. You're trusting your intuition about what you're perceiving and what the other person is, how they're interacting with you. Has nothing to do with them. If I was to read him through the lens of you, I would say his intentions are true, but he's still a flawed human. So just because your intentions are good doesn't mean it's an alignment for you. I'm not saying that that's the case, but the whole point of it was to tell you that it's about you trusting you, not about you trusting him. Michelle, should I be worried about losing my clients? No, but I'm going to give you a little extra. I feel like it's time for you to branch off into AI or to learn some new things, because there will be, you will need to make some shifts and changes in how you do business. If they wanted you guys to reconcile, if they wanted to message you, if you are on their mind, if they want to talk to you, if they love you, if they think about you, they will let you know. If that's not happening, it means it's not in alignment with your being, period. Let it go, let it be, focus on you, take back your power, love yourself enough. There's something you need in that person, whether it's to be chosen, to be loved, to be accepted, and that comes from an emotional memory in your nervous system from childhood. Go listen to the last podcast I did on my Cosmic Blonde. This is going to be my answer for all of those questions, you guys. If you're asking questions about someone coming back to you, are they thinking about you? Do they want me? That's what I'm going to tell you. Any other answer is not going to serve you. And you can ask it 100 times. I'm still going to give you the same answer I just did. It's just not going to serve you otherwise. Will Z and I ever meet in person? Yes, you will. If they wanted to, they will. Meaning if it's meant to, if it's an alignment for, they will. If they want to reach out to you, they will. If they want to reconcile, they will. Even if they want to, maybe they don't have the capacity to. Maybe it's not an alignment for you. You will thrive doing nails for a living if that's what brings you joy. I think it brings you joy, but I think you also feel like you need to do it because I think it's also very easy for you to do it. So if it's something that brings you joy, then you will enjoy it. But the moment it stops being joyful, you need to do something else. Christian, I think it's going to fulfill a need for a shorter period of time, but ultimately I feel like you're going to shift directions completely. Will I ever get over Thurston? Yes. It has nothing to do with him. It has nothing to do with that person. What you're healing has more to do with your own childhood programming. That person was just a mirror for it. Bored girl, it's not that I don't see you, it's that I've answered the question 100 times. Is there a potential for you to get back together? Sure. Is it an alignment for you? No. You would be forcing it. When it's an alignment, it would happen. If it's meant to be, it will be. In the meantime, let go of the need to be with that person and focus on healing. You are placing your power and your worth into something outside of you. This is why I keep saying the same thing over and over to everybody who's asking the question, because it's not going to serve you to give you a yes or no. What's going to serve you is to help me guide you back to you so that you can heal you and be the most empowered, trusting, certain, confident man or woman who calls in the person who's in alignment for you. I hope you guys can understand that. I'm not going to answer questions if someone misses me or if they're thinking about me. Don't have permission to tap into them. Brenda, again, I don't have permission to read Fernando, but what does it matter? What does it matter if he doesn't care or worry? He doesn't care to worry. Like, I don't understand the question. Nathan, yes. John, yes. Know and trust that the way will appear. It will. Will I get into dental school this year? Yes. I feel like it will be fall. Rose, I feel a really nice opportunity coming for you, love. Really focus on you making sure that it's not just about the money, but it's you have good synergy. Hello, welcome in. These are coming in so fast. Oh, good. Good. I'm glad that that's exactly what you were looking for. Will I get a chance to go abroad? Yes. Brittany, I do see you two together. How long and when that happens, that's unclear. I will not answer pregnancy questions. Those are medical. But I will tell you, let go of the need to have it happen. Let go of the outcome, okay? I know that's hard and you think it might be easy for me to say, but let me tell you this. After my daughter was born, I developed endometriosis. I'm gonna pause and tell this story because I feel like it will be beneficial for her to hear. After my daughter, I had my daughter at 17, and then I developed endometriosis, which is rare to develop after you have a child. Usually having a child clears it. Anyway, I had several, and I mean several miscarriages, one that was pretty far along in term. I was told I would never carry a baby to term again. And so I decided to go back on birth control, and I just let go of it all because it was such a painful thing, and I desperately wanted a child by a certain age, right? Because I didn't want to have a big age gap between my kids. And so I gave up. Essentially, I let it go. I got back on birth control. Second month into birth control, I lived on an acre of property at the time, and this stork or crane, it's the same bird, but a stork, showed up on my property for 2 weeks straight. This bird would not leave. I had a Great Dane Rottweiler mix. At the time, his name was Buster. He was huge. He would chase this damn bird all over the property. And it never went away. And then this was the last 2 weeks of December. A couple of days into January, the bird had left by then, right? It was there for about 2 weeks. About 3 days before I went to the doctor, the bird disappeared. I went to the doctor, new OB, and I was meeting the new OB thinking I'm gonna prepare to have a hysterectomy because that was the last resort at this point. They had done several clean out surgeries to fix my endometriosis. I wasn't getting any better. They said, we don't have any more options left. So I went to the doctor. Now, mind you, I had never popped positive on a P test. I've always had to have a blood test. So I go, and of course they have to do the normal tests and blood work. I came back positive as I was pregnant. My words out of my mouth were, when's the abortion? Because I'm not miscarrying another child. I can't do it. It's too hard on me. This doctor looked at me dead in the face and said, you're gonna have this baby. I don't know how he knew. He just knew. He's like, you're gonna have this baby. I will make sure you have this baby. And he proved all the other doctors wrong. I did have to go out on bed rest really early, and he did have a complication where he needed to be pulled out early. But they tried to induce me 3 times. They called him the camper. He did not want to come out. So I went from losing all the babies to getting pregnant with a child that did not want to leave my belly. So I know it's hard when you really want to have a child, but let go of the need to have that child. Just take really good care of you and know that if it's meant to happen, it will. And as long as you're taking care of yourself and you're leaving the space for that creation to come in, it will, honey. the person with the name The Truth, I am sending you so much love because you need to really get close to Jesus, because Jesus would never act like this. Jesus would never want that. We're just going to go ahead and remove them from the feed. She needs some love, or he, whoever it was. That's my ex-bonus son's name, Ashton. I do see a potential for you guys. I know, and every year I tell him the story. Every year I remind him that he's a miracle. Every year. I know it probably irritates my daughter, but he is. To me, he's a miracle. And, you know, if a child chooses you, because they do, they choose their parents, they choose when they're born, you know, maybe the child that this person's waiting for, it's not the right time for them. You got to remember, they have a contract, they have a plan, they have things that they want to do. And so we have to trust this process, and it requires a lot of patience on our half. But I remind him every year that he's a miracle. And truly, he's not a miracle, because it's just when he chose to come in. And honestly, he was most likely the same soul that I miscarried several times. He was waiting for the right alignment, because that's mostly what happens when you miscarry and then you finally have a baby. It's usually the same soul. It isn't about if they love me enough to stay in the relationship. It's more of, do they have the capacity to show up as who they need to show up for the relationship to be successful? So you got to ask a different question. And that question I can't answer for that person. So again, this is the paradox, right? I don't have permission to read them. Will my relationship with my husband work? If you both have the capacity to sit down and be honest with each other about what you need from each other and where you are, yes. And you're both willing to do that work, yes. I feel like you are, but I don't know if he is. So that's just something that you can take and run with, and be vulnerable and see what happens. As Brene Brown would say, get in the arena. Be willing to fight for each other. And if it doesn't work, that's okay. It's not in alignment. The capacity is not there. So just a reminder, if you're asking me if you guys are going to reconcile, if they're falling in love with you, do they think about me? Do they want me? Are they going to choose me? Are they going to call me? Are they going to text me? If those things are not happening in this moment, it's not in alignment for you in this moment. Does it mean it won't happen? No, but it means you need to create the space for it to happen and focus on you and your healing and your confidence and feeling worthy within you, and not needing the other person to do or show up in any way, shape, or form. That when you need to know the answer to those questions, you're giving your power away. You're saying that without them, you are less than. And I need you guys to love yourselves more. So please hear my loving words when I say this. If they're not coming to you, if they're not texting you, if they're not calling you, if they're not showing up for you, it's probably not because they don't think about you or they don't want to. It's most likely that they don't have the capacity to do so. They're not in the space, which means they're not in alignment. And maybe it's you that's not even in alignment. So again, you both have to work on each other, but that starts with you. My job is to bring you back to you over and over and over again. Will I be able to have the surgery I need? Where did that go? Where did it go? Hold on. These came in super fast. Will I be able to have the surgery I need soon? Yes. I feel like it'll be later this year, though. I feel like you've had issues, like whether with insurance or I feel like it's been some kind of technical issue. Solomon, yes. Veronica. Yes, but I'm gonna give you a little more because I feel like you're gonna do something on your own. So do I see you also getting a job? Yes, but I think it will be to support you while you do your own thing temporarily. There's something coming for you. Is my dad looking over me? Absolutely, honey. He's with you every day. He sees you, he hears you, he talks to you, he supports you. He's a guardian for you. He's always with you. Talk to him all the time and then listen because he's talking back. Just a reminder, if you want a mini read from your guides or if you have a specific question that you would like me to answer and see what else comes through, those are by donation. It is a minimum $15 donation via Cash App or Venmo. If you do donate, please let me know so that I can prioritize you. Make sure your Venmo or Cash App has your first and last name. And if you've never had a session with me, I do have a first-time client rate under my Quantum Soul sessions that is available if that calls to you. I don't know why I'm laughing. I'm not laughing at you. I can't say your name though. It sounds beautiful. Sharon, maybe? I had a client that's Sharon, but she spelled it differently. Will I marry a white man? And it's got a cryy face. Do you want to marry a white man? I mean, you don't have to marry a white man if you don't want to. I think that's funny. You're never going to be forced. Your soulmate is never going to be something that you don't want them to be. Remember that. They will feel like home, and it won't matter their skin color. It won't matter their race or nationality or even their religion. When you meet them, you're going to feel at peace with them. It's going to feel natural. You won't have to wonder, are they thinking about me? Are they loving me? Are they missing me? Why won't they call or text me? None of those things will be. None of those things will happen. So if you're in a relationship with somebody and you're questioning it and you're wondering, and why is they not reaching out to me? Why are they not loving me? Why aren't they calling and texting, whatever? They're not your person. They're not your person. Veronica, I did answer your question. Gina, will I get a job this year? Yes. Daniel, I feel like yes, patience, grace, communication, you guys are going through, you guys are both shifting. Daniel, you're both shifting through different versions of you. Let me say this because I feel like you're going to understand this. You know, I'm here to really kind of also help you guys understand your multidimensionality. So every day we are moving through hundreds of timelines a day. You hear people on here say, oh, we collapse timelines. We're moving through timelines 100 times a day. The shifts and changes are so small we often don't notice, but every timeline or every shift is a different version of us. So a lot of us are shifting and changing so much that we'll go through weeks, months, or even days sometimes where we're just different people momentarily, and we need to be in that energy for a short amount of time to learn something for ourselves, hopefully, right? Hopefully we're able to see that. So you guys are both doing a little bit of this. I do feel like it's going to stabilize. So try not to take things so personally. Try to remember that you're shifting and changing a lot. I feel like you're somebody who could understand that. Okay, is Ashley my person? She's here for a season. Anastasia. If you do, it's gonna come down to the wire. I feel like there is a good potential, but it just feels like it's really close. Will I get promoted at work? I actually feel like you're gonna go into a different department or line, maybe in the same company. It could be. I just see you going in a different direction. It's probably happening for a lot of people. Thank you for the roses. I mean, it's not just romantic relationships that's happening to, it's friendships, right? So me and my best friend went through that. We've gone through that a few times because we're both walking the same, similar path. And that's okay. I know that when things are off between us, I'm like, okay, we're just not in alignment at this time. It doesn't mean I don't love them. It just means I give them space. I give them grace. They got to work through things. And then we always just come right back into alignment. Denise, I feel like it's happening for a reason. I feel like you are shifting. Your career is shifting, meaning you're probably going to go in another direction. Shelley, yes. Is my new internet business going to be profitable? Yes, it's going to be what you believe it's capable of being. I feel like there are some limits that you're going to hit and you're going to need to work through. I just approved your comment and now I got to find it again. Please only ask one free yes or no question. If I've already answered you, please don't ask again. Somebody asked a question that I wanted to answer, but now I don't know where it went because it blocked it and then I approved it. Now I can't find, oh, here it is. Have you had a psychic attack before? No. And here's why, because I don't believe in them. So that means that we'd have to believe in dark entities. And do you know what a dark entity is? A fragment of a human being. Spirit isn't evil, humans are. So we are all fragmented, by the way. Even the healthiest person has 22 fragments. But when you have a fragment that is filled with anger or shame or guilt and you keep repressing that energy, you feed that part of you and it takes on its own identity. Prime examples, if you've ever gone into a fit of rage, that was a part of you, an aspect of you that took over you. It almost possessed you, right? So that is what we call a dark entity, or when someone feels like they have an attachment. It's a part of you that has taken on so much energy that it feels like an attachment or someone attacking you. Can you pick up other people's aspects, or can other people's aspects take over you? Yes. If you've ever drank too much and blacked out, someone took over your body, that's another human aspect hitching a ride and having a good time. So the point of me saying this is it comes down to your belief. If you believe something can hurt you, then it can, because your belief tells you that it is. So you have to work on your belief system, 1. 2, this is a really good opportunity for you to understand energetic boundaries. where you end and someone else begins, where you allow people to use your energy, to drain your energy. Oftentimes we are healers and people pleasers, and we're just wide open sponges collecting everyone's bullshit, and then it takes us down. My course, The Energy Matrix, is a really good place to learn energetic boundaries if that's something that you're struggling with, or find another teacher or practitioner to help you if you don't resonate with me. And I can also do this in private mentorship. But anybody needs to hear this. Like, there is no, like, you're not going to be attacked unless you believe that's for you. And if that's something you believe, then you're going to call in that experience. And this is why I always tell people who want to open up their gifts, you don't go and just open up your gifts. You have to learn the foundation first of discernment, how to read energy, how to discern energy, how to have good energetic boundaries. Because when you open yourself up to communicate in the quantum realm, your beliefs are going to be the filter which everything moves through. So you have to be really strong in your beliefs, which becomes your filtration system, also known as your boundaries. Hi, Rocky. I wanted to be out on the lake today, but it's a little too windy and the air quality is not great. So I'm here instead. If I'm not answering your question, it's because you've either already asked a question and I'm not going to answer a second one, or I'm not getting a clear yes or no when I read it, or it might not serve you to know the answer. If you want a mini read from your guides, or you want to ask a specific question, those are a minimum $15 donation, and you can do it through Cash App or Venmo. Just let me know that you did donate so that I can prioritize you. Will I receive unexpected money soon? There is something coming for you, something coming to you. I don't know if you would consider it unexpected or not. And once again, if you're asking if somebody's going to reconcile with you, if they're thinking about you, if they love you, if they miss you, hear me when I say, if they're not doing those things, it's not a relationship that's in alignment for you. It's an invitation for you to focus on you and heal and make the space to receive someone who is in alignment with you. The person that's meant for you, you won't have to chase. You won't have to force. You won't wonder. You won't question. Allison, if you're speaking of your soulmate, not this year. I feel like there's still some things that you need to work on. Alicia, yes. Mary, yes. Tina, that's not a clear yes or no yet. Spirit doesn't do justice in karma. All karma is the law of cause and effect. What you do has a consequence. And that consequence will always show up differently, and it may not be what you want it to be. But there is no such thing really as somebody getting justice or an eye for an eye. It's something happened to learn something for both people. Even if you were the victim of the situation, there was still an opportunity for you to learn something. So everything happens for a reason. It's a matter of you finding what that reason is and extracting the wisdom. Oh boy, this person's gotta go. Block. FJ, it's not going to be this year, but you will meet your soulmate. I don't know. I'm not going to read Nora because I don't have permission to read her. How someone feels about you and their willingness to act on it are two different things. In a mini read, how a mini read works, will I win the lottery? No, not the big lottery anyway. You might win small amounts. Mini reads work if you ask for a general. I'm going to connect to you and your team of guides, and I'm going to connect to your body first, and then I'm going to listen to what your guides have to say, and they're going to tell you what you need to know. Generally, it's not what you necessarily want to know. So when you choose a mini read and you donate, and if there's something that you really want to know, then ask the question instead of saying general. Because if you ask the question, I'm going to answer the question, and I'm most likely going to tell you more based upon what the guides really want you to know. But if you just say general, then generally you're not going to get, this always happens. They say general, and then what I read is not what they want to hear, and then they have a question. So you get a general, or you can ask the question. But if you ask the question, I'm most likely going to give you more. The most reads run anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes, depending upon how much information comes through. But again, it's a $15 minimum donation. So I wouldn't expect it to be a long thing, you know? But that's how they are. Thank you for asking that. Dun, dun, dun. I will not answer questions where you're asking me if another person will do, say, or feel something. I do not have permission to read them. They are not on this live. If someone asks me something that has to do with both of you and I can see it clearly from your soul's point of view, then I will tell you. But if I don't, then I don't answer the question. I'm going to answer this question, but I think you've asked multiple questions. Will I obtain my goals for this year? Yes. Not all of them, but a good portion of them. You will eventually find love again. I don't feel like it's going to be super soon, Donnie. Michelle, it's not will she need to, it's more of like, do you want her to? I feel like there's multiple options for her. I also feel like she is more of an independent person. Just know that you have multiple options. It's never a have to. Should I move on from my relationship? If you're asking that question, you already know the answer to that. You feel very tired. Is Jeff a soulmate of mine? No. But he is somebody that is there for a reason. Allison, do you see wealth coming to me within the next 3 months? I wouldn't call it wealth. Wealth to me is like generational money, which is big money. I do feel like there's an increase in money coming for you, yes. Is my life going to get easier? No, but it will feel easier from the way that you start to learn to handle it. You need to surrender. The things that are happening are to get you to surrender. Will my business lease be renewed? Yes. Will I get married in the future? Yes. Is Gilbert my soulmate? No. Wayne Jones, wrapping you in the utmost love, because you have to be a very sad, hurt person to sit on here and give me this kind of attention. If I don't resonate with you, why would you give any attention to it? It makes no sense. So I'm sending you lots of love, my friend. Will Jim and I work it out and continue our relationship? There's a potential there. Again, I can't see from his perspective. I can see your willingness to. All you can do is sit down, have an honest, vulnerable communication about what you need and where you are, and see if it's something that is in alignment for both of you, and if he has the capacity and if you have the capacity. But the potential is there. Hi, baby. Are you coming in to say hi? Do I need to ground a little bit? Huh? Yeah? Okay. I don't answer cheating questions. Angelica, will I get into a relationship this year? Yes, you are going to meet somebody this year. Gilbert, do I have any blocks? Of course you do. Your beliefs are your blocks. So where do you believe that you can't have something or something's not possible for you? Where do you have fears? What are your attachments? Those are your blocks. And speaking of that, if you guys are struggling with forgiveness, self-love, your blocks, you feel stuck, there is a course in the link in my bio called Heal, a course in radical forgiveness and self-love. I have made that course completely free. It is a 6-module course. I just made it free. It is a couple $100 value, and it's my way of helping anybody that needs it who may not be able to normally afford it. So it's one of the very first courses I ever created many, many moons ago. And that might be something I feel would be very helpful for you. Will I get married this year? No. Is there a financial breakthrough for me? Yes, the breakthrough is actually about your limits and beliefs, but it will open the door to more finances to flow, yes. Angie, I actually feel like someone's gonna help you. Just trust that you're gonna be okay, honey. Antonio, if you're meant to be together, you will be. Right now, I'm not getting a clear yes or no, so at this moment in time, it's not in alignment. Megan, I do see that you guys will get married. I don't feel like it's going to be, I mean, I don't know what soon is for you. I feel like there's a little bit of time left for that will happen. And the Spirit's saying, slow down, there's no hurry. Just enjoy the journey. Marriage is just a legal contract, you guys. It was made to be more of a business arrangement anyway. Michelle, will I buy a new house this year? If you do, it'll be at the end of this year, beginning of next. There's going to be, we're about to enter into a recession, and we're going to see a bunch of house prices, property prices drop dramatically. So yes, it's just a matter of that timing, but I think that is when you will have your opportunity. Oh, just let me know when you do. Make sure that your Venmo or Cash App has your full name, first and last. Will I continue to work in the same school? Well, Vardit and I don't get a clear yes or no. I feel like there's something that's not it's not clear yet. There's something that's not worked out. But it feels like this. So that means it's not worked out yet. Will I be very happy in the future? Happy is not a constant state of being. It's a choice. And yes, you will eventually get married. Will I get transferred this year? Yes. If you're asking the same question multiple times, I'm not answering you, it's because there's not a clear yes or no. I'm not going to make up an answer. Sometimes it's not good for you to know the answer. Is it meant to be over? I don't know where that went. With Derek, yes. So I'm going to keep saying it. I'm a broken record, but I'm going to keep saying it. If you're asking me if somebody's thinking about you, how they feel, are they going to reconcile? Are they going to come back to me? Is it over? Should I stay? If you're asking any of these questions, you're missing the point. It's not in alignment for you. What's in alignment for you will always be an effort. It will be. You won't have to chase. You won't have to wonder. Those relationships are there to teach you to go back to yourself and find your power. You don't need them, but something in your nervous system from childhood is trying to reconcile something, and it's using that person to do so. And so you chase them, or you pine for them, or you wonder, I need them to come back to me. Are they going to love me? Are they thinking about me? It's not for you, honey. If you were in alignment, things would work out. It doesn't mean that 5 years from now, or a year from now, or 6 months from now, or 3 months from now that it won't. But when it's meant to be in alignment and you both are at a capacity to work together and show up together as you need, then it will be. There should be no question about that. If you are somebody who's donating for a mini read, please make sure you let me know that you donated. It should pop up on my screen too. But sometimes it gets convoluted. Can I get parts of my memory to work that don't work now? Yes. So everything's recorded in the quantum field. It's just a matter of being able to access it. And there's probably a block made up of fear that's keeping you from seeing it. And so when you work through the fear, then usually that memory will come forward. And sometimes it's just a matter of time. I was molested as a child, and I always had a weird feeling that something happened to me, but I had no conscious memory. And then in 2019, actually it was the beginning of 2020, that's when it was, the memory started to come back. And but I had to be in a place where I had the capacity to deal with that. And that's when I was at the, it happened at the right time. And I was also working through the fears all through 2019 to publish my book that shared and talked about my trauma. So as I worked through those fears, that's when I started to access those other memories. What is it with these people today? Again, I'm just going to keep repeating myself. Does it worth insisting for reconciliation with my ex-fiance? If you are fighting, if it's not happening, it's not in alignment. It doesn't mean that you can't put effort into it, but it takes two people. So if you're wondering if you should reconcile with somebody, the answer is if they're willing to sit down with you and be honest with you and be open to what you both need, and if you both have the capacity to meet those needs, then yes. If they're not, it's not. I can only look at it from your perspective. So you might be willing to reconcile, but are they? The only way to know is to sit down and do that. Me telling you yes isn't going to help you. Me telling you to do this is. So I'm not going to answer those questions on whether you should reconcile, whether they're thinking about you or they love and miss you. That requires me to tap into somebody who has not given me permission to. I'm sorry to hear about your trauma. Thank you. I've worked through it. I don't remember. Someone said their phone died. When I'm channeling the answers, I don't remember what I said. So I'm sorry. This will go up on YouTube in the next 24 hours, though, if you want to go back. No, it's not just you. Our amygdala can stop recording in a sense, where we get like these black spaces, but everything is recorded in the quantum field. It has to be. So you always have the potential to access it. It's usually our own personal fears that get in the way. Will I pass my exit exam this year? Yes. And oftentimes when we are disassociated and we leave our body, that's when we don't remember. Lori, if you don't believe it's working out, then yes. If it's not working out, then yes, because it's not in alignment. Will my daughter's father and I make it work as co-parents? Yes, I think it might be challenging in the beginning, but if you both can take ownership and not take things personally and choose to put the child's needs ahead of your own egos, then yes, it's very, very possible. I think the beginning will be a little rocky, but it will get better. Will I get a new job this year? Yes, later on in the year. Have my tests and trials ended? I don't know what that applies to. If you're talking about life, no. It's a lifelong journey. There's these people on the there's like a golf cart parade going on right now of people. Their golf carts are all dressed up. Hey, I wish you guys could see this. There's a golf cart parade going right now by the house, and they're all dressed up for St. Patrick's Day. It's cute. Hush, they can't even hear you. Okay. Will I be able to find a home for me and my kids? Yes. I don't think it's what you're expecting though, so be open. Keep your mind open. So just a reminder, you guys, if you are struggling and you need to work through blocks, trauma, forgiveness, self-love, I have a course called Heal, a radical course in forgiveness. It's linked in my bio right at the top. I have made it completely free to be of service to anyone who might need it. It is a really good course, has really good content. So know that that is there for you. If you've never had a session with me and you'd like 60 minutes with me, you can look through my sessions. There's called a Quantum Soul Session. There is a first time rate that is more than 50% off for your very first time only. So those are some options that are available. I have a podcast called Cosmic Blonde. So if you're struggling with relationships, your worth, the spiritual journey, the healing journey, I talk about all the things. The last episode is really focused on limerence and toxic relationships. So if you're one of the thousands of people that have showed up today, or hundreds of people that have showed up today asking, do they love me? Are they going to contact me? Do they think about me? Are they going to get back together with me? I highly suggest you go listen to that podcast, because it will help you come back to you. Because if you are so worried about them contacting you, you're not focused on you. You're placing your worth and your power outside of you, and that's not healthy. My job is to bring you back to you. Will the state approve my license? Yes. So you guys can go do that, and it will be very helpful for you. But if they you guys got to learn how to sit in the wonder and the mystery of the uncertainty, and know that if that person is meant for you, you're not going to wonder. You're not going to be delayed in contact. They're not going to hold out. They're not going to leave you confused. That's not your soulmate. So if that's happening, let them go. It's not in alignment. I am in Texas. Will I get an apartment soon? I actually feel like you're going to get a house, not an apartment. But yes, you're gonna find your space. Okay, my loves, I think I'm gonna wrap it up, because we haven't been getting any readings, and we've done a few hours now of free yes or no's, and I'm getting a little tired. So I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. I might be on tomorrow for a little bit. If not, I'll be back for sure on Tuesday. You tried to get a reading, did it not work? I haven't seen anything come through. Thank you, Rocky. Oh, yeah, you have to go out. You have to go into the link in my bio and click on the tip jar and do that. I went in the bio and nothing. So if you click on my face twice, it should take you to my profile, and then you'll see a link. It'll say podia.johannaburkhardt.links or something like that. And the first thing you'll see is tip jar. And in the tip jar is Venmo, Cash App, PayPal. If you'd like me to wait for you to do that, I will, but you'll be the last reading for the day. Just make sure your Cash App or Venmo has your full first and last name. Okay, I will wait for you, my love, and then you will be the last one. If I had 2 dozen roses, would it change your mind? A little less sleep at night, and 2 dozen roses, would it change your mind? Very much karaoke time. Yes, your daughter's gonna make some friends. It's stuck in my head because it's like viral on TikTok right now. And then I did a TikTok with it too, and I love Shenandoah. Well, I know. We're gonna do one more reading and then we're gonna be done, okay? I know, you're waiting so patiently. You're waiting so patiently. I know, baby. I know. Okay. I know. Okay. It's a girl and Rocky, and I'm dog sitting 2 dogs. This one's just a little, her name's, oh my God, I'm in channel brain. I totally forgot what her name is. That's terrible. Sadie. Had to wait for it to pop in. Ah, yes, we're talking about you. We're just waiting for, just like a girl, yep. Yeah, she literally wants to be like up in my lap all the time. Thank you for the heart. All the time, just wants to be in my lap. And like, if I go to the bathroom, I go into the kitchen, I go into my bedroom, she's like, just follows me around, like, has to be right there. That's why I like dog sitting, because I get to enjoy and love on the dog for a little while, and then I go back to a house in my home where I don't have any animals, because animals are a lot. Is it over between Wayne and I? Yes. Let it go, let it go. Steal your pillow and blanket. That's awesome. Done. Okay. I just gotta wait for it to come through. Oh, thank you, Rosa. You're so sweet. I don't, you just hit the, it's hard for me to describe while I'm on here. So my picture should be down in the corner, Meryl. You should be able to click on it twice. Thank you for the confetti. Hit my picture and then hit my picture again. It should take you to my profile where you'll see my picture, my bio, and all my videos. That's where the link is. Where did you send the donation? Cash App, Venmo? Just so I know. Oh, I see it. It's on Cash App. Okay. Kimberly. Okay, Kimberly. Do you have a question? Or are you wanting general? Remember, if you're doing general, you may not get the answer what you want. If you have a specific question, ask the question, and then we'll see what else comes through. So just tell me which one you want, general, or if you have a question, drop the question. Okay, so when you say you want to hear your guides, then you're just getting a general. So let's just see what comes through for you. Kimberly, so there's a couple things that are showing up for you. One, I feel like you don't feel supported right now. It's not like overwhelmingly huge, but it is showing up for you that they're acknowledging that there's parts of your life where you don't feel supported right now. And this is just an opportunity for you to strengthen your trust and faith in yourself. Faith isn't even real until something looks like it isn't going to happen and you choose to believe in it anyway. So the support has to be internal, meaning it's you believing in you and trusting you and supporting you in wherever you are in life. That's going to help ease. And I feel that in your lower back. That's how I read that. I feel that there. And so I just want you to know that. The second thing is you are what we call a conduit. I am also one of those, which means that you anchor light into the planet. So you can become ungrounded very easily, overwhelmed very easily. You're also super sensitive to environment and toxins and people. And so you really just need to be really discerning of your energy and your boundaries and learning energetic boundaries, learning not to please or do things to avoid conflict, that type of thing. It's really about you honoring you, coming back to you, but coming back to the energy part, like I just feel it pouring out of your feet. And so sometimes this can be very depleting of your energy. So the way to combat that is to get out in nature more, literally feet to the earth. We call this earthing. Be more present, which is what we call grounding. Not in your head, not worried. Increasing your minerals and fulvic acid. So that's sodium, magnesium, potassium, fulvic acid, increasing your minerals, which hydrate you, because the minerals get depleted when we drink excess water. And you're probably someone who drinks a lot of fluid because the amount of energy that's running through you. So you can actually dilute your internal minerals, and that actually can exhaust you or cause weakness, meaning you would get sicker easily, that type of thing. So find the supplements that work for you. You can look at my Amazon in my bio for the supplements I take to give you an idea if you care to, but those will be very helpful for you. But the thirst and sometimes the food cravings are because of the sheer amount of light you are anchoring. You will also have the urge, not necessarily that you're going to, but you will have the desire, the urge to go certain places or to travel, and that's because you're meant to anchor light there. You're meant to be there to pick up frequencies or to drop off frequencies. That's I'd love to know. You'd love to know what? That's what I'm like, what happened? What did I miss? So anyway, if you have the urge to travel or to go places, like if there's places that are calling to you, that's why the calling you. Oh, the vitamins, yeah. So just go to my Amazon storefront under supplements and you'll see I've spent years finding the most potent and most affordable supplements because I take them. And so I always just link them so people can see what I'm taking. Let's see what else. There's a lot of expansion going on in your crown, so you might have tension around your crown sometimes. You're literally being opened up. You're going through an awakening, and we have so many awakenings that we go through, so just you're being expanded. Your capacity to hold light, the information, there's changes going on within your DNA. You are just in this really big shift. I also feel like you are a healer, and how you're going to do that is still there's many ways in which you can do that, but I feel very strongly that you are a healer and you are somebody here who's meant to have an impact on the planet and be of service to humanity in that way. No, it's okay. It's just when I start channeling and then I'm not reading the comments, I lose track and context of what you're commenting on. So, my license I'm going after is to be an independent provider. I work for DOD. I don't know what that is, what DODD is. What is that? Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. I mean, when you're a healer, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to do energy healing or Reiki. A lot of times healers are nurses or doctors or people who work in schools, because healing is really about helping people face themselves. It's about holding space. It's about holding light for somebody. It's about helping people. So to me, that means that at this moment in time, you would be at the right place. Yeah, animals love you. Exactly. Especially healers will animals come to, because animals are transmuters. So I don't feel like that's something that where you are or what you're trying to get into is where you're always going to be, but it is where you need to be currently. And I feel like as your awareness expands and your capacity to hold light expands, I feel like that might shift and change a little bit. But what you do for those people is the healing part of it. And so that's important. But another reason why we come back to what they said in the beginning, which is energetic boundaries, is very important, because you tend to take on things. And so you really have to discern where you end and someone else begins. And when you feel someone else's pain or their hurt or their sadness or even their love, it's saying to yourself, this is what they're feeling. Because when you feel that from someone else and you say that in your mind, you're reminding your body not to hold on to it, but to let it move through you. And you want to just send them love or wrap them in, beautiful pink heart energy. If you're feeling something out of nowhere, or your energy or your mood shifts or changes dramatically very quickly, you can just ask, is this mine or someone else's? And you're going to get a knowing or hear it, an answer in your head. And if it's someone else's, just take a deep breath and go, okay, I don't have to hold this. I can let this go. And so that's really important for you to do that, is to recognize and ask yourself that. It's important for you to learn how to work with your energy. Again, I have a course called the Energy Matrix. Check it out if it calls to you. I'm sure there's books. I'm sure there's other teachers out there. So you follow the path that serves you best to learn how to do this. But learning to read and understand your energy is the foundation of that. And especially when you're working with people who need you to hold a lot of space for them like that, your heart has to be really open and really big. And we can sometimes take on too much, and that becomes our detriment. It can make us sick. It can make us exhausted. And that's what we're trying to prevent for you. And this is a very common thing amongst healers, very common thing. So again, it doesn't have to be me. You can look around and find the resource that's meant for you. This is just what we know will be very helpful to you. So I want you to know that. But they're saying you're doing great. You're on your path. Just allow things to unfold. Make the best of wherever you are. Continuously surrender. Be very in tune. Try to be as present as you can be. It's a practice. It's not perfect. But you being out in nature, you meditating, going for walks by yourself, listening to music, those types of things are going to be helpful for you to bring you back to the present moment, to help you kind of let go of everything, because you kind of tend to stiffen up and hold on, and we want you to let go. You don't need to carry it. If it's heavy, it's not yours. If you guys feel something that's heavy, it's not yours. Heavy equals not yours. Set it down. Set it down. Yeah, see, you're drained all the time. That's why we were talking about minerals. We were talking about boundaries. This is why I say, if you want to know something, ask the question, because the guides are going to tell you what you need, not what you want. And this is what you needed. This is going to help your energetic and physical health by learning these energetic boundaries and by taking better care of your physical health with the minerals. The minerals will be a support at the very least. So that's why we always bring that up. As far as your son, the only things I hear is that he's going to be okay. He has a path he's chosen. He's working through it. The best thing that you can do is let him know that you're there for him, that you're supportive. It's not necessarily to give him advice or to fix him, though at times as a parent we always want to, but it's just to redirect him back to him, and to let him know that he's loved and supported. That's the very best thing that you can do. Do you have any questions about anything that we have said already? But that is what they have for you. And again, this will be up on YouTube in the next 24 hours or so, labeled with today's date under the TikTok playlist if you want to go back and listen to it. I don't have any loved ones showing up. Again, I am not on the frequency for mediumship. That's a whole nother frequency for me. And sometimes they will show up if they're able to meet me where I am, but they're not. But just know that they do always hear you. Whoever's passed away is always around you. They always hear you. And if you spend more time being present when you talk to them out loud, because you will hear an answer in your head. You'll either get a knowing, it'll be a thought, and a lot of times we just discount it, but they see everything, they hear everything, they're always around you, okay? Just know that. I'm so glad. And you have a very beautiful, big heart, and you are doing good. It's a practice. It's not about perfection. So come back, listen to this message. It's nice because it's at the end of the live, so it'll be easy for you to find. So follow me on YouTube. That's in the bio too. And you can come back in a day or two and look for today's reading and skip to the end, and you can listen to it back again, okay? And that will be helpful for you to kind of write things down. Sometimes I feel like I'm missing something because I feel so busy and drained. And you very well are, because when you're busy, you're not being present. So you have to slow down to speed up. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but it's not. The more present you are, the more time you create, actually, because you see that everything's now. If you have a list of things that you need to take care of, make a list, prioritize them from most important to least, focus on one thing at a time. One thing at a time. Be where you are, always. Try not to allow the whole staircase to overwhelm you. Try not to take on so many things at once. You aren't meant to do this all alone. You're not meant to do it all by yourself. You're not meant to hold that much weight. One thing at a time, be with it, be present with it. And that's it, huh? And listen to next week's podcast this coming Wednesday. I think it will be super helpful for you when we're talking about time. So if you listen to Cosmic Blonde podcast, it's also on YouTube if you're not on a podcast system. So next Wednesday that will come out. If you sign up on my email list, you'll get notified. So I hope that was helpful. You have a beautiful heart. Thank you for allowing me to read your energy. I really appreciate you, and everything's gonna be okay. Okay, your son's gonna be okay too. So I'm sending you lots of love. You guys, I'm so appreciative of you all hanging out with me today. Again, I may come on tomorrow, but if not, I'll be back on Tuesday. Monday is a really packed day for me. Again, I have a free course called Heal. It's linked in my bio. If you're someone that needs that wants to try it out and see if it's helpful for you, that's a free resource that's there. If you want 60 minutes with me, take up my offer on my first time client rate. It's under the Quantum Soul Sessions, okay? I have tons and tons of free content on YouTube. So lots of support available for you. I love all of you so much, and I will see you guys next time.